Can you hear me? There we go. Linda, could you please give the invocation?
17 for the meeting.
In 2 Chronicles 16:9 it says, "For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth to give strong support to those whose heart is blameless towards him." In Psalms 34:15 it says, "The eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous and his ears toward their cry." Lord, thank you that you put these verses of scripture in my heart tonight. I realize the definition of eyes include to look at, watch closely, and with interest. Thank you, Father, that your eyes are upon us, all of us. Where we are concerned, your eyes don't miss a thing. How awesome is that? How assuring this is, and how cared about we can feel. You look at us closely with much interest, and you give us strong support. Lord, help us to realize our need to be righteous towards you and to have hearts that are blameless towards you. And help us in our journey to gain these qualities and cement them into our hearts. Father, I pray for the city council members and the city leaders tonight. Help them to know beyond a doubt that your eyes are upon them with interest. Bless them in their personal lives. Protect their health and their hearts. Provide for their needs. Safeguard them as they make decisions, as they gather information. Most of all tonight, Father, teach them to have eyes like yours. Eyes that see everyone around them. Eyes that watch and pay attention to all the details in everyone's lives. Eyes that are interested in everyone and everything. Help them to stay charged up and passionate. Give them clear perception without judgment as they go about their jobs. And give them a desire to obtain guidance and understanding from you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Linda. So now that it's 6 o'clock, we'll officially call this regular meeting of City Council to order. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Present in person, Mayor Miller.
Here.
Alderpersons Borneman. McClanathan.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Busker.
Here.
Brashaw.
Here.
Misick.
Here.
And present via teleconference, Alderman Berberay.
Here.
I see most of the department heads in attendance. Is Kirsten Hines here? Okay, thank you, in person. And Tom Kapansky, do we have you remotely?
Yes, I'm remote.
Thank you, that's everyone, Mayor Miller.
Thank you. If you could please stand and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderman Busker. Okay, item number 1 is the approval of the agenda. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion made by Alderman Brashaw, seconded by Alderman Busker. Okay. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Misick.
Aye.
Berberay.
Aye.
Borneman.
Aye.
McClanathan.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. Item number 2 is approval of the minutes from the meeting of September 21st, 2020. Is there a motion for that approval?
So moved.
So moved.
We have a motion made by Alderman Busker, seconded by Alderman Berberay. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Misick.
Aye.
Berberay.
Aye.
Borneman.
Aye.
McClanathan.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
And Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. We have no signed-in public comments, so we'll move on to item number 4, which is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is considered to be routine in nature unless there's an item that one of the council would like to pull out for separate discussion. Seeing nothing, we'll just move on to item, with that being A, approval and placing on file the Social Justice Committee minutes from September 3rd and the 17th, 2020. The minutes from the public hearing on the CDBG housing rehabilitation in Clinton Place and Clinton Avenue from September 21st, 2020. The Executive Director, Mark Williams, Greater Freeport Partnerships Monthly Report dated September 24th, 2020. A memo from the Finance Director regarding closing of bank accounts and building permit reports for September 2020. Also is B, the approval of the finance bills payable in the total of $451,187.77, and the approval of payroll for pay period ending September 26, 2020, in the total of $538,022.24. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion made by Alderman Misick, seconded by Alderman Ross, to approve the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Misick,
Aye.
Berberay,
Aye.
Borneman,
Aye.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
and Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Okay, I'd like to start this evening with a proclamation, being that it is Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the City of Freeport is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting here, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes and are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire, and whereas homes kill more than 2,600 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and the fire departments in the United States respond to more than 357,000 home fires. And whereas cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, where fire departments respond to more than 173,000 annually between 2013 and 2017. And whereas 2 of every 5 home fires start in the kitchen, with 31% of those fires resulting from unattended cooking, and more than half of reported non-fatal home cooking fire injuries occurred when the victims tried to put the fires out themselves. And whereas children under the age of 5 face a higher risk of non-fire burns associated with cooking than being burned in cooking fires. And whereas Freeport residents should stay safe in their kitchens when frying food on their stovetops, keeping a safe 3-foot child-free zone in the cooking areas, and keeping anything that can catch fire away from stovetops. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced home fire escape plans are more prepared and will therefore be likely to survive a fire. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in home fires in half. And whereas Freeport's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas Freeport's residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2020 Fire Prevention Week theme, Serve Up Fire Safely in Kitchens, effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of home fires. Now, therefore, I, Jody Miller, Mayor of the City of Freeport, declare October 4th through the 10th as Fire Prevention Week in the City of Freeport. Chief, I'll give you that. And next, I have the honor and privilege of having some swearing-ins this evening, and we will start with the police department. So if our 3 new officers can come forward, and our fire and police commissioners, that would be great. And I'm going to give you this, Mark. Mark, if you want to use this first, that would be good. All right.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Mark Gridley, and I am the chairman of the Fire and Police Commission. but I'm also joined by my fellow commissioners here, and it's a pleasure to be able to present the official commission to these soon-to-be fine Freeport police officers. All three of you demonstrated qualities that rose above the many applicants that we had for the position. What's more important is that you gained the trust of us as commissioners, because as we think about who do we want on our department, are people that we can count on in our time of need, in the time that we need help, and that's the trust being bestowed upon you. You are joining the ranks of an elite unit. Every single one of the officers that we have in Freeport, I would be very pleased to have show up in my time of need without a moment of hesitation. They are all outstanding, they support each other, and I hope that you grow to support them as well as all of the citizens of Freeport. With that, I'm going to read the commission, but I'm only going to read the commission once because it's the same for all three of you, but we'll give you your names. Official Commission, City of Freeport, Board of Fire and Police Commission, to all whom these present shall come, having been duly appointed to the office of patrolman in and for the City of Freeport in the County of Stevenson and State of Illinois for the term from the 5th day of October 2020 until her successor shall have been duly appointed and qualified, is hereby fully authorized and empowered to assume and perform all the duties of her said office, according to the law and ordinance of said city, and all persons are required to respect her in the discharge of her said duties, by order of the chairman of the Board of Fire and Police Commission. So, Corinne, you're first, Baron. Then Zdanka, Nikhil. Congratulations. And then Catherine Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos. Congratulations. Thank you.
What an honor and a privilege to be able to swear in three family officers. I'm so proud to be able to do this. So if you can just line up and raise your right hand. You can just, there you go. Okay. So if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And I will faithfully discharge the duties the office of patrol officer according to the best of my ability. Congratulations, ladies.
You have your badges here, or your shields, and we talked a little bit about that today, and I told you how much it means to me to put the badge, my shield on. And I want you, when I give you these, I'm asking you to honor the duty and the respect that comes with this. What we do in Freeport can change law enforcement across the country. We've seen that. So there's a great responsibility that goes with accepting these badges and putting the Freeport Police Department uniform on. Like the chairman said, we have gone through everything. You guys rose to the top. You're the ones that we want to wear these badges, and that's why we've offered them to you. So congratulations on becoming a Freeport police officer.
It's also my honor. I have here to issue your badge numbers. So your official badge number is 58, your official badge number is 59, and your official badge number is 60. Congratulations.
Congratulations, ladies. We appreciate you. If you want to take some photos or something quick, that would be, that's it. Yep. You can tell we're all smiling, right? Okay. Okay, then if we can have fire make their way in.
Dylan and Uri, could you join me up here? Thank you. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye by the authority vested in me and reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Uriel Cantu and Dylan Oberly, I do hereby appoint you to the position of firefighter in the City of Freeport Fire Department to the rank there such the 5th day of October 2020. To the appointee, your appointment as a firefighter in the Freeport Fire Department makes you heir to a long and proud tradition of fire department service. By accepting this appointment, you are charged with demonstrating those standards of performance, moral courage, and dedication to the fire department and the City of Freeport, which may serve as an enviable example to your fellow fire service men and women. Your desire to excel and to guide others must be boundless. Your appearance must be a model for others, and your performance must be a continual reflection of your sincerity, attention to duty, and moral responsibility. By exhibiting this unfailing trust and obedience to your superiors, cooperation and loyalty to your peers, understanding and strength to those you serve, you will contribute greatly to the effectiveness and good name of the Freeport Fire Department. Given under my hand, City of Freeport Fire Department, 2020. Congratulations, gentlemen. Now, the Police and Fire Commission will read your charge.
Thank you, Chief. And once again, I'm only going to read this once, but I have for Uriel Cantu and Dylan Oberly, your official commissions. City of Freeport, Board of Fire and Police Commission, to all to whom these presents shall come, having been duly appointed to the position of firefighter EMTB in and for the City of Freeport in the County of Stevenson and State of Illinois for the term from the 5th day of October 20th, 2020 until his successor shall have been duly appointed and qualified, is hereby fully authorized and empowered to assume and perform all the duties of his said office, according to the law and ordinance of said city, and all persons are required to respect him in the discharge of his said duties, by order of the Board of Fire and Police Commission. Congratulations, gentlemen, and again, on behalf of the rest of the commissions, you guys rose to the top, and you're joining, once again, a great unit of people. These individuals are training all the time, not only dealing with what happens day in, day out, but whatever may come. And so we're very proud to have you join such a great group of individuals. Very proud of the men and women of our Freeport Fire Department. So congratulations.
Okay, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to officially swear the both of you in this evening. So if you can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully discharge the duties the office of firefighter according to the best of my ability. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations, gentlemen. Welcome to the team, and please make this community and your families and your brothers and sisters in the fire department proud by your service. And thank you again to the commissioners for being here with us this evening. That's all I have, Mayor.
Do you have family that would like to take some photos? Yes? Okay, thank you. And then, Chief, you wanna stay up?
Lieutenant Brocious, would you join me with your family? Chief, you want to join me? All right, thank you everyone for being with us this evening. The Freeport Fire Department is going to be promoting this evening firefighter Hillary Brocious to lieutenant. I want to congratulate her on that effort and her contributions to the fire department. This is historic because she is the first female officer on the department. Not the first female firefighter, but the first female officer. And that's a testament to her effort and her peers and all the hard work that she has done for the department. So we appreciate that very much. Hillary, I'm going to read your appointment. To all who shall say these presents, greetings. Know ye, by the authority vested in me and reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Hillary Brocious, I do hereby appoint you to the position of lieutenant in the Freeport Fire Department, to rank as such the 5th day of October 2020. To the appointee, your appointment as lieutenant in the Freeport Fire Department makes you heir to a long and proud tradition of fire department service. By accepting this appointment, you are charged with demonstrating those standards of performance, moral courage, and dedication to the fire department and the city of Freeport, which may serve as an enviable example to your fellow fire service men and women. Your desire to excel and to guide others must be boundless. Your appearance must be a model for others. Your performance must be a continual reflection of your sincerity, attention to duty, and moral responsibility. By accepting unfailing trust and obedience towards your superiors and cooperation and loyalty to your subordinates, understanding and strength to those you serve, you will contribute greatly to the effectiveness and good name of the City of Freeport Fire Department. Given under my hand, Freeport Fire Department, the 5th day of October, 2020. Congratulations, Hillary. With all promotions, there is the badge pinning, which is the basically the acceptance of that responsibility and charge. And tonight, Hillary's asked her husband to pin her. Congratulations. Again. We'll do some photographs outside. So good. All right. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Congratulations, Hillary. Okay, next is item number 8, appointments. Madam Clerk, could you please read those?
Acceptance of appointment of Bruce Baldwin to the Historic Preservation Commission effective immediately until February 28th, 2023. Acceptance of appointment of Randy Bucus as City Representative to Enterprise Zone Board effective immediately. Acceptance of appointment of Randy Bucus as City Representative to Stevenson County Soil and Water Conservation District Board effective immediately.
If it pleases the council, we'll just do this in one motion.
Madam Mayor,
Alderman Brashaw.
I'd like to make a motion to accept all 3 appointments as stated.
Second.
We have a motion made by Alderman Brashaw, seconded by Alderman Busker. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Meissick,
Aye.
Berberet,
Aye.
Borneman,
Aye.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
and Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. Item number 9 is the recognition of service awards. Manager Bucus.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to turn time over to Chief Liggett.
With me this evening is Amos Langley. He has been on the department for 5 years. He's a fire medic, contributes greatly to the success of the department with his attention to detail and hard work ethic. It certainly is a pleasure for me to honor him this evening for his service. He is on duty, so I'm being a little brief just in case they get called away. But congratulations, Amos, for all of your hard work and everything that you do for the department. There's a certificate of your 5-year service, and then there's also a small token of the city's appreciation in downtown Greater Freeport Bucks for coffee or an ice cream somewhere. Sound good? Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
The other 2 cannot make that, Your Honor, so we'll give them, no, they're not here. So we'll present their certificates later.
Then we will move on to item number 10, which is the second reading of ordinance 2020-53. Madam Clerk, could you please read this?
An ordinance of the City of Freeport amending Part 8 Business Regulation and Taxation Code, Title II Business Regulation, adding Chapter 879 Pet Stores to the codified ordinances of the City of Freeport.
Thank you. Manager Bucus.
Thank you, Your Honor. Currently, the city does not regulate the sale of pets and pet stores in the city of Freeport. The ordinance that's being proposed tonight is similar to other ordinances that the Humane Society of the United States has supported, and it's staff's recommendation that council approve the ordinance on second reading.
Discussion, council. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll of the passage of 2020-53?
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Abstain.
Meissick,
Aye.
Berberet,
Aye.
Borneman,
Aye.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
and Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0 with 1 abstention.
Thank you. Item number 11 is the second reading of ordinance 2020-54. Could you please read this?
An ordinance establishing the compensation of mayor and city clerk.
Thank you. Manager Bucus.
Thank you, Your Honor. With the municipal elections scheduled for April 2021, the City Council has to set the salaries for the positions by November 7, 2020. It is recommended that the mayor's salary be increased by 1% and that the clerk's position be increased by 1% and that the alderman's salaries remain the same. That 1% increase for the mayor is roughly $275, and for the clerk's position is roughly $550.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Busker,
No.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Meissick,
Aye.
Berberet,
Aye.
Borneman,
Aye.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
and Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-1.
Thank you. Item number 12 is the adoption of Resolution 2020-56. Could you please read this?
Resolution of the City of Freeport setting the date and hours for trick-or-treating in the city for 2020.
Thank you. Manager Bucus.
Thank you, Your Honor. As in the past years, the decision to trick or treat is up to the individual homeowner, parent, and treaters. If you not want to, if you don't feel safe or do not feel or you want to participate, you don't have to. Basically, Your Honor, what we're asking tonight is adoption of a resolution that follows the Illinois Public Health Department's guidelines as well as the Stevenson County Health Department guidelines. These guidelines include only approaching houses with their porch lights on. Masks and face coverings should be required of all those that are participating in trick or treat, including treaters, guardians, and candy givers. It's recommended that gloves for all residents be worn. Try to maintain 6 feet social distancing and keep non-family groups to 5 or less. Families or those that have quarantined together may stay together. Groups should not intermingle. Avoid streets with large numbers of people. Wash and sanitize hands often, especially after trick or treating, and sanitize all candy wrappers upon returning home. We never did get any official word from the governor's office as to what the trick or treat rules are. I should point out too that trick or treating is going to be held on Saturday, October 31st from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that is, of course, subject to change depending on what happens with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Madam Mayor,
Alderman Bradshaw.
thank you. Manager Bucus, you said it possibly could change due to the COVID situation as it is?
That's correct.
And if, I'm sorry, may I continue, Madam Mayor? And if it were to change, are you guessing that they may restrict it if the governor should say something?
I am not going to try to guess what the governor may or may not do because he could make it more restrict or he could loosen it. Right now, we're under mitigation plan one, I guess, that we have more restrictions today than we did a week ago. So in 2 weeks, hopefully, we're out of mitigation, but we never know. And what's going to happen with the spike in positivity of the tests. So I'm just kind of laying out there for everybody that today we're planning on trick-or-treating, but that's not to say come October 31st, we may have to cancel it.
May I continue? Thank you. Well, I appreciate those guidelines that are stated pretty clearly here, and I'm sure that we can post that on the city website if this is passed. I was actually hoping they would still have the trick-or-treating with some restrictions, and I do see that the time has been shortened. It used to be from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. generally, and I see here it's from 4:30 to 6 p.m., so it's only an hour and a half.
That was a recommendation from the Stevenson County Health Department that we shorten the time.
I see. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Alderman Parker.
Make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Alderman Borneman.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Are you, to the city manager, are you expecting guidance coming from the governor's office?
Personally, no. I really don't.
Okay.
No.
And then a follow-up question. And so the guidelines in section 6 here, these came from the Illinois Department of Health?
Right, and the Stevenson County Health Department.
And one last question. Have you seen or heard of how other municipalities are handling trick-or-treating?
It's my understanding most of them in Stevenson County are going to have it on Saturday the 31st from 4:30 to 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Alderman McClanathan.
along those lines, is that what led to the change of the 4:30 to 6 was the health department director saying that these are what our surrounding municipalities are doing to try to keep it to a consistent hour to limit cross between communities?
It was his recommendation that we limit it to an hour and a half and to do it from 4:30 to 6.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Alderman Misick.
is there any special publication or notice going out to residents to be informed of the instructions this year?
We post things on our website and Facebook page.
And Greater Freeport Partnership pulled together a flyer that they're going to be handing out as well.
Good, thank you.
Any further discussion? Alderman Borneman.
Just a comment, and I appreciate the manager's point that this is voluntarily, to be someone to hand out candy that's voluntary, and to participate in going house to house, is that's your decision to make in what you feel is the best interests of your family. But I've been thinking about this for a couple days now, and if you would have brought up the idea of 4 months ago, back when we were more in the COVID swing of things, when it was on lockdown, of people traveling house to house with little children, that would be considered a terrible idea. So I'm probably going to vote no, just because I just feel like, I don't want to come across as a Scrooge here, and I know that's the wrong holiday, but it just seems like such a bad idea in today's day and age. And, if that offends someone, I'm sorry, but I just feel that maybe this year, how trick-or-treating could be one of the things that we sacrifice, like we have been sacrificing for all year. So just wanted to put that out there, and hope that doesn't upset too many people. I just feel like it might be healthier to avoid this altogether. That's all I have.
Mayor?
Alderman McClanathan?
Thank you. I appreciate the comments, Alderman Borneman. I would note, though, that these are the guidelines that have been issued by the authorities that the Illinois Department of Public Health and the Stevenson County Health Department, and without any further guidance from any other entity. And I will note, when they issued those guidelines, they also did say, recognizing that the safest way to celebrate the holiday is to stay home. But if you're going to do it, these are the guidelines that we're recommending. So I feel comfortable setting them up under these parameters, given that, again, this is up from the guidance from both the state and our county. But I'd also encourage individuals, if you have any concern, any doubt, there's a level of personal responsibility here too. And you need to weigh that not only in your individual choices, but also, I would say, as a parent who has in the past trick-or-treated with kids, I don't know that we're going to be doing it this year, frankly, but a lot of houses opt out already, and I could see where individuals would opt out their homes also further. So whether it's something that's allowed at the local level, state level, national level, whatever, folks should take seriously their own individual levels of personal responsibility. I hesitate to go beyond what the county and the IDPH are recommending at this point, which I think a no vote would do at this time, because then we're getting into other circumstances, like, should we be shutting down parks on a daily basis? Should we be shutting down schools? That gets beyond some of our parameters. So I hope this helps set a balance, but I also understand the various views, on this issue. And obviously, we're all dealing with issues that we never would have guessed we'd be dealing with, and making decisions that we think is the best for our individual selves, our families, and our communities.
If there's no further discussion, we have a motion on the floor made by Alderman Parker, seconded by Alderman Busker, for the passage of Resolution 2020-56. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Busker?
Aye.
Brashaw?
Aye.
Meissick?
Aye.
Berberet?
Aye.
Borneman?
No.
McClanathan?
Aye.
Ross?
Aye.
And Parker.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted 7-1.
Thank you. Item number 13 is the adoption of Resolution 2020-57. Could you please read this?
Resolution approving and authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with IDOT for CARES Act for Pretzel City Transit.
Thank you. Director Hines.
Thank you. So the Federal CARES Act grant is new this year to provide COVID-19 costs and operation costs during the pandemic. I just got rid of Alderman Berberet. Do you know how I expand it, Kurt? There. Oh, okay. Okay, so the Pretzel City Area Transit provides an on-demand transportation services within Freeport and Stevenson County, and funding is typically provided through or obtained through annual applications under the State of Illinois 5311 and Downstate Operating Assistance Grant Programs. This year during the pandemic, the CARES Act grant was created to assist transit systems to maintain services during this time of reduced income to the projects. And the CARES Act grant will cover operation expenses from January 20th of 2020 through June 30th of 2023, or until the funds are used up. We have been holding off on some of the expenses that are covered under this grant so that we can, after the agreement has gone through, that we can use some of this additional funding to cover that. The total amount that we'll receive is $646,057. There's no match required for this grant. It's 100% reimbursable funds. And so the application was submitted through a new portal this year, so it took a little bit longer than expected. I think we were kind of expecting to get this done a little bit earlier, but we're looking forward to getting the grant completed and all the required documents through so that we can start using this additional funding. So as part of this grant, this resolution for execution and amendment of the Federal CARES Act grant is just required as part of the application process. So staff recommends that this be approved.
Questions, council?
Mayor,
Alderman McClanathan?
thank you. Director, so bottom line, due to the Federal CARES Act, if we get this grant with no match from the city, it'll give us $646,000 towards operations of Pretzel City Area Transit, and it can be used over approximately a 3-year period.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'd make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Guess the second will go to who's loudest. So we have a motion on the floor made by Alderman McClanathan, seconded by Alderman Misick. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll on the adoption of Resolution 2020-57?
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Misick,
Aye.
Berbere,
Aye.
Borneman,
Aye.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
and Parker.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted 8-0.
Thank you. Reports from department heads. Finance. And Community Development.
Yes, so tonight you approved the permit report for September. So this past month, we had 79 permits, which was 13 more than August, which is pretty exciting. And the overall permit project cost was over $1 million too, so it's a pretty big, busy month in Freeport. And the permit fees that we took in was over $22,000. And then in terms of code enforcement, for September, we had 138 code enforcement cases, and we saw 42 cases at the administrative adjudication hearings just over the few weeks in September. And then outside of that, so the Northern Illinois Land Bank, they're currently accepting bids for 2 properties, so 857 East Shawnee and 603 West Pleasant Street. They're accepting those online. The online link is available both on our website and it's shared on our Facebook page, as well as the Region 1 Council, Planning Council's Facebook page and website. The bidding period ends October 12th, next Monday. And these properties will go to qualified responsible bidders, and they will be fully vetted before offering a bid to ensure that they're qualified for the scope of work required for the rehabilitation that would be done to these 2 properties. There's no minimum bid required, but the purchase will be highly considered when selecting the winning applicants, and the properties are not currently available for interior inspection. And then the census, so it was supposed to end today, but they're actually extending it again for the umpteenth time. So it's going through the month of October. So people still have a chance to respond either online or by phone. I don't know what this means for the census employees, if they'll continue going door to door or not. It's a little unclear. So if people are continuing doing door to door enumeration, just make sure that they're not asking for information that's outside of the few demographic questions. They're not asking any questions about, social security numbers or banking information, and just try and fill it out, do the self-response version, so either online or by phone.
Well, your office has been very busy, and just so in case the council wasn't aware of those building permits, it wasn't just over $1 million, it was close to $2 million, so you've been very busy. Any questions for Director Hines? Thank you. And Public Works.
Thank you, Your Honor. This week, or this month, we've completed projects all over town. Locust from Broadway to Lincoln, we were able to repave that. We moved over to Highland Drive, and that's been completed. We're starting work on South Demeter to do what we can to alleviate some of the worst of the problems in that area. This month, we're going to begin with leaf collection. Our new equipment's been gone through and op-checked, and we're ready to get started during the month. If I could just pass along that the instructions are available on the website, but we're requesting that all residents leave their leaves in a continuous row on the curb line. Please do not park in front of large leaf piles, and do not cover storm grates and intakes with leaves. That's all I've got tonight.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Alderman McClanahan?
Thank you. We've had several inquiries regarding the start of leaf pickup season. Do we have a date yet, or do we just know it's going to be this month?
It's mid-October. It's weather dependent.
Mayor? You're done.
Go ahead.
So 2 questions. I think you covered them both, but just follow-ups. The leaf trucks, we have the new vehicles now?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then the other question was, can you elaborate on the work that's being done on South Demeter? What portion? It's kind of a windy street.
It's from West Demeter down to near the Gladewood Bridge, or the South Demeter Bridge.
Is this like a patching job, or is it a more thorough, comprehensive?
It's going to be an overlay. It's going to involve, we're not going to grind the entire street. We're grinding the tie-ins, and then we'll be putting primer down tomorrow or the next day, and then we'll be overlaying that with 1.5 to 2 inches of asphalt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fire Department?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, my only report is to talk a little bit about fire prevention. It is National Fire Prevention Week, and it's an unusual year for us because of COVID. We're not going to be in the schools with the children. So I'm looking for some folks to help us out. I'm looking for family adults, role models for family members and children to help out the fire department in passing along our message. There's a plethora of information available on the internet through the National Fire Protection Association, the United States Fire Administration, and local fire departments, YouTube. There's plenty of fire safety information out there. Our focus this year, of course, is kitchen fire safety. 40% of all of our fires start in the kitchen. It's typically unattended cooking with the electronics that we all enjoy, the fast-paced electronic world, whether it's entertainment on TV, a computer, a smartphone, or some other type of electronic device. It takes us away from our attention in the kitchen, and many times, as a result of that lack of attention, we end up with a fire. So how can you prevent that? You mentioned that a little bit in your resolution. Make sure there's nothing around the stove that could catch fire. Make sure there's no towels or washcloths or anything paper products, things like that could touch the flame. Make sure that you're not exceeding the container with the amount of food that you're cooking so that it boils over and begins to burn. You want to make sure those handles are turned in so small children can't reach up and grab those handles and pull the hot food down on themselves. Also, you want to stay with that cooking. You want to pay attention to it and take that opportunity to clean in the kitchen, but stay with the food, stay with the item that is cooking so that you're avoiding any problems. Other things that we want people to have a smoke alarm in your home. Have one on every level, and then also have one near your sleeping area. If you have small children, I would encourage you to have a smoke alarm in the children's room itself. Also, one of the things that we've experienced throughout the years in the fire service is that smoke alarms don't necessarily wake up children. There are specialized smoke alarms that are available, which you can record your voice and call out your child's name if the smoke alarm goes off to warn them that there is a fire. So I strongly encourage you to use that technology also. Another thing that's important in the home is carbon monoxide detectors. Making sure that if you have any gas fired appliances, whether it's a water heater, a stove, or a furnace, that you have a carbon monoxide detector in your sleeping areas, and then also on each level in which one of those gas appliances is on. Finally, it's the education piece. You know, we're not able to reach out to the children this year, so there are age-appropriate things that we teach throughout the school year to the kids. K through 2 is burn prevention and not to play with fire. So we teach stop, drop, and roll. We teach not to touch things that are hot. We teach that fire is a tool, not a toy, right? And then if you find matches or a lighter, give them to an adult. Don't play with candles. So we teach that burn prevention. We talk about stop, dropping, and rolling. The very important thing about that is always cover your face. Cover your face, fall to the ground, roll back and forth until the flames are out. Never run. If you run, you're fanning the flames. For our third and fourth graders, it's hazards in the home. What we're looking at there is making sure that we're helping children identify hazards that might be in the home, whether it's storing flammable liquids in the wrong place, blocking an exit, not able to open windows. Make sure that your children are trained to be able to open a window as a secondary exit. If the window isn't able to be opened as a result of construction or some kind of failure, give them the ability to break the window. Teach them how they can do that. Lay a blanket over the window to be able to crawl out the window so they don't cut themselves. Train on those things, talk about those scenarios so that they have the ability to do that. Little story, we had a young man, we were talking about this in Fire Prevention Week, and he exclaimed that, you know, I have a fire bat. My dad has it underneath the window, and if I ever need to get out, I can use that bat to break the window to get out. I said, that's a fantastic idea. Where did you find it? He told me the hardware store. And then he proceeded to tell me about the fire drill in which he really did break the window out for his father. So those types of things do happen. It's important to train with the kids, practice your exit drills. So also the third and fourth graders, we're asking you to do exit drills in the home. No way, 2 ways out of every room in your house. No 2 ways out of every office building that you work in, every hotel that you go to, every restaurant you go to. 2 ways out. Make sure those exits aren't blocked. Many times when you go to a restaurant, what's in the corner in front of the exit door? High chairs. Okay? Know your ways out. So then when you're traveling, you're staying in a hotel, make sure that when you are walking out the door of your hotel room, you're counting the doors each way to the exit. Because if there's smoke all the way to the floor, you can feel the door and know how many doors you are away from your exit, whether you go left or right. Just little things that make a big difference in saving your life while you're traveling. The next thing we do for fifth graders and middle schoolers is we talk about emergency preparedness, what-if scenarios. So if you're a fifth grader or middle schooler, we want you to have an emergency plan. What happens if there's a tornado? What happens if there's a fire? What happens if the house floods? What if someone is lost or something happens in the home that gets broken, whether it's a pipe or something and parents are away? We talk about all those things and how to respond to them and who to call. And then we talk about a family communications plan with those kids, and then also having an emergency kit. What happens if there is an emergency? Do you have clothing and food and water and things that you would need to survive a couple of days without help? So that's our fire prevention strategies and preparing folks for adults. And also for young adults, we practice and talk about workplace safety and then campus safety. That's a real big deal these days too. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on the subject matter, and I hope that you learned something. And if you do have any questions or would like the fire department to come out and speak to a service club or something on fire prevention, we'd be happy to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Police.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to start by reporting on a couple houses, problem houses that we've been dealing with. We were able to get a court order to shut down a house in the 1200 block of South High. This was a couple weeks ago that we received the order, but on Friday, we assisted community development who went up and put the boards on the house. This particular house was a problem in the area for some time. It was, there was a lot of shots fired calls associated in this general area where this house was, and we believe that a lot of the incidents were occurring from that house. So we were able to get a judgment from the courthouse in the circuit court to declare this a chronic nuisance. We're also working with community development on another house in the 400 block of South State who's had very similar problems, and we've begun the process under the new ordinance of addressing this problem too. So we are working on a second house to hopefully remedy the situation in the 400 block of South State with some of these calls. And that kind of leads me into the next thing. At the social justice meeting, I brought up some numbers that we have. At that time, I reported we had 64 calls of shots fired in the city of Freeport. That number's gone up since Thursday. We are now up to 65. And like I explained there, that's 65 calls of shots fired where we're able to locate evidence of an incident occurring, whether it be shell casings, damage, or witnesses that can corroborate what has been going on. That's not counting the additional 20 that has shootings that have happened where people have been hit or killed by gunfire in our town. So that's 85 calls of shots fired that we can verify. I'm not shy to say that this is a crisis for the police department, for certain parts of this city. It's a crisis for the entire city on what's going on. And I've asked and I've begged for help from the community on trying to help come to a resolution with some of these issues. One of the people that have come forward to offer some suggestions or try new things is Pastor Funchess at St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church. He approached me about doing a gun buyback program, and we are going to attempt that on Saturday at St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church on East Stevenson Street. We're going to be there from 10 until 3, and we will offer $50 for the first 20 people that bring guns to turn in. We're not going to ask questions. So please get the guns off the street. If you have guns in your house that you don't know what to do with, maybe they're relatives, maybe it's somebody who's passed away. We see a lot of firearms taken in burglaries. If you want to get them out in a place where they're going to be secure, you can bring them to this event, and we can make sure that they are destroyed so nobody else gets their hands on those guns. If you're a family member who knows that you have guns in your house and you just don't know what to do with them, put them in a bag, bring them to us. We will make sure we are not going to ask questions. We just want the guns off the street. Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Alderman Bradshaw.
Quick question, Chief. I caught the 10 to 3 gun buyback program at St. Paul's Missionary Church. The day again, please?
This Saturday,
This Saturday, which is October, somebody help me here.
10th, I believe.
10th? Thank you, sir.
Alderman Borneman.
When people are bringing the firearms, do you have a recommendation? You said put them in a bag, but can you kind of elaborate on how you'd prefer?
I would prefer them to be in some sort of sealed bag. Obviously, don't carry their firearm up to us. Don't carry it concealed. You carry it in a manner that's consistent with being safe for both you and the people that are going to be there working the events. Like I said, we want to get these guns off the street. We don't want any more terrible events. But put them in a bag and bring them up, and we will do what we can.
And you're accepting ammunition too?
We will take ammunition.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Alderman McClanathan.
Thank you. Chief, I know you've highlighted this, like you said, last week at a meeting, and you highlighted it here. But I know this has been an issue that's been long on the department's minds and on the efforts, and it is one of the, if not the highest priorities of your department, and has been for months in regards to that. And it's one of those tricky subjects where, we'll get emails in regards to it and things of that nature, and they say, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? And some of the stuff we can highlight, obviously, you know, what we're doing at a city level. There's plenty of things that you've been doing at an administrative level, at a department level, many things which you probably, I mean, you can't even share with us here in regards to it because you don't want to impact their effectiveness on that. But I just want to say I appreciate you bringing it up here at these meetings because it does highlight to the community. It is a situation you're aware of. It is a situation you've been looking at addressing. The one thing I would ask is as you continue to go forward in regards to that, both at the administrative level, the council level, to the extent necessary, continue to have the discussion with us in regards to what are some of our options, what are some of our solutions, so that, because I mean, obviously this isn't a magic wand that the police department can wave that's going to make this issue go away. There's funding components, there's staffing components, there's policy components, there's community and individuals on the street components as well. So I just ask that you engage with all of us moving forward as we try to address this issue. Thank you.
Will do.
Thank you, Chief. Water and Sewer, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Mayor. Thank you. I have no report tonight.
Thank you. IT? Thank you. Library?
I just want everybody to know that even with the new restrictions, you all at the table do know that the library is still open and we do have all of our hours that we've been operating. When we decided to make our reopen plan, we planned for steps back and not only steps forward. We do not have to change anything that we are doing. So please come and visit us. And then one more thing, because we all love talking about STEM kits. We actually had a donation from the Audubon Society. So we have now a bird watching kit that you can check out. And it was in the Journal Standard this weekend if you saw it. But this is one of the reasons why I come up here and I talk about some of the things that we're doing at the library, because it really helps with some of the marketing and just unique ideas that we get from the community for us to be doing at the library. So thank you. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. City Manager?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have the final numbers now on our police and fire pension obligation bonds. The total amount was $52,735,000. Of that, the range of interest rate was between 1.027% to 3.46%, with a true interest cost of 3.127%. We anticipate saving $31 million over the life of the bond. And we did lower the budget stabilization fund from $1.5 million to $1 million. And we're going to be closing on the bond on October 19th. Over the past month, our liability decreased by $1.5 million as the market saw an upswing to it. Of the money that we're going to have available to apply to our pension liabilities, the police pension fund will receive $28,413,670, and the fire pension fund will receive $22,333,878. The money would be invested by Marquette Advisors, who are the two pension boards' financial advisors, on a biweekly basis from October 19th through January. We feel this is the best way to try to get some dollar cost averaging achieved. Our financial advisor, Spears Financial, had also recommended that we proceed with the bond as well, since we did have such favorable rates. The second item I'd like to touch on briefly, Your Honor, is the fact that we had a lot of police and firemen here today. The police and fire departments are putting together eligibility lists for 2021. So if you're interested in becoming a policeman or a fireman, please contact either the police department or fire department. You have until the end of October for the fire department, and I believe October 26th for the police department to get your applications in. And that's all I have for tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions for the City Manager? Okay, I just wanted to just piggyback just a moment on fire and remind council and the listening audience that we have a retirement on Friday at 8 a.m. It's Blair Seneff is retiring from the fire department at Central Station. If you'd like to join us for the flag presentation, that would be wonderful. It's quite a moving experience, as I'm sure Alderman Brashaw can attest to. Also remind council that next Monday we don't have a council meeting because it's a holiday, so we will be meeting on Tuesday for our committee of the whole. And just a little advertisement on what the city is partnering with the Greater Freeport Partnership in hosting 2 events, so to speak, for the Halloween season, since, you know, it's like Alderman Borneman said, it's, you know, it's questionable and not sure what people should be doing. So online, actually, you can go to greaterfreeport.com and there is a coloring contest, and you can print off the coloring sheets and also get a list of the participating businesses that will be giving out prizes. And then as well, a photo contest of costumes. And there will be 3 top prizes given out for the best costume photo, the best family photo, and then the most creative. So it's just trying to think outside the box to be able to have some things that the community can enjoy. And then I believe we move on to,
Your Honor? What was
Yes.
the date for Seneff's retirement again?
Friday.
Friday? Okay, thank you.
And we will start this evening with Alderman Busker.
Nothing this evening.
And Alderman Brashaw.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything this evening.
And Alderman Misick.
Nothing tonight, Madam Mayor.
Alderman Borneman.
I'm just going to touch on it briefly. I've gotten a lot of emails about it, as I'm sure most of the council members, maybe other council members may have received as well. This weekend, the governor's new mitigation measures came into place, and it was pretty apparent that several businesses didn't follow those standards that the governor kind of unilaterally set forth on these businesses. And I am sympathetic to business owners, and I understand their plight, but I just want to encourage just the public in general to remember that there's the businesses that are following the rules are losing out on business, and they're following the rules, and then businesses stay open are then kind of benefiting by. Well, I received an email that it summarized it better than I'm rambling about, but just to kind of explain, you have a business that's shut down for indoor dining, and then the customers go to a place that's open for indoor dining despite of the rules. And when you think about who the real, it's unfair. So I hope that the businesses that are remaining open reconsider their decisions, and I also hope that the Liquor Commission, these issues are brought before the Liquor Commission. So as inarticulate as that comment was, I just want to say that I understand it's frustrating right now, but COVID is a real thing, and we need to do what we can do to stop the spread of it. So it is also a matter of personal responsibility, and I just encourage people to seek out those businesses that are following the rules and order your takeout from those places. That's all I have.
Thank you, Alderman McClanathan.
Nothing further tonight, thank you.
Alderman Ross.
Nothing, Mayor.
Alderman Parker.
Nothing, Your Honor.
And sorry, Alderman Burberry, I didn't mean to pass over you.
I have nothing, Your Honor, except I would like to just say to Director Hines, I meant no offense when my picture went away as she began to speak. It gets very tiring just looking at yourself, okay?
Thank you, Alderman Burberry. Next is public comments. Are there any public comments? Seeing none, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So move. Second.
We have a motion made by Alderman Ross, seconded by Alderman Busker. Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Misick.
Aye.
Burberry.
Aye.
Borneman.
Aye.
McClanathan.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
And Parker.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.